After a first-half stalemate, the Boston Celtics scored the first 5 points of the third quarter. Then the Washington Wizards scored the next 26, effectively ending the game and tying the series to boot. The Washington Wizards with a 121-102 victory over the Boston Celtics here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. This series between the top seed Celtics and number 4 seed Wizards is tied at 2 apiece. And once again, the Celtics were rocked by one of those patented runs by the Washington Wizards. But instead of beginning the game with a huge run, the Wizards began the second half with that huge 26-5 run, a 26-0 run within that 26-5 run. And a big reason for that run, defense leading to offense. The Celtics turned over the ball 9 times in that third quarter. It led to 21 Washington Wizards points. And when you play the Washington Wizards, you have to at least limit the production of both John Wall and Bradley Beal. If they both have really good games, you have a slim chance to win a game against the Washington Wizards. And in this ball game, John Wall led the Wizards with 29 points and 12 assists. He actually missed the first 9 shots of the ball game, but he got going in that second quarter, scored 14 points in that second quarter as Washington overcame a 12-point first half deficit. His backcourt mate Beal scored 27 points in the contest. And on the other side, it looked as if Isaiah Thomas for the Celtics was going to have one of those games, at least in the first half. He had 17 points. He had 5 of 6 3-pointers in that first half as the Boston Celtics hit 8 3-pointers in that first half. But in the second half, Thomas shut down. Only 2 points in the second half. He ended the game with 19 points. He also ended the game with 6 of Boston's 20 turnovers in the contest. And after the game, we got to hear from both members of the Wizards and the Boston Celtics in the postgame press conference and the locker room. We start with Washington Wizards head coach Scott Brooks, and I asked him personally, was the point of emphasis at halftime stopping the open looks from the Boston Celtics from 3, as the Celtics had 8 3-pointers in the first half in game number 4 and had 19 3-pointers in game number 1 in that victory over the Wizards.
Yeah, you know, you're going to give some shots up. They're a good team. They move the ball. They got a lot of good players, but you can't give up the easy, wide-open threes, and that's what we did in that first quarter. And when you do that, you're hoping that they miss, and they're not going to miss often. If they have a miss, if they miss, it's because they missed. It's not because we made them miss in that first quarter. And we made some adjustments, and I thought the guys did a good job of locking in on him. He's, like I said, he's one of the hardest guys to guard in this league.
It was just our defense. You know, that's all it was. You know, we realized at halftime we weren't defending the way we were capable of, but you know, it was still a tie game, and we just came out the third quarter with a better mindset that everything was going to stem from the defensive end, and you know, we were able to force a lot of turnovers, and on top of that, you know, we converted. You know, and whenever we're one of the best teams in the league at, you know, converting off turnovers, so you know, it's important that we were able to get hands on 50-50 balls, you know, and be able to convert on the offensive end.
When your shot's not falling like that, one, what are you thinking in that scenario, and 2, how did you eventually turn it around?
Just for my team, I know I got to be aggressive, offensively and defensively. I was getting good looks, just missing easy shots, layups at the rim, not slowing down. And my teammates told me just keep being aggressive. And just the way we got stopped, they kind of got me into a momentum and a rhythm of seeing the ball go in the basket.
One of the things, if you turn the ball over against these guys, you'd prefer to, you know, drop kick it into the stands so that at least you can set your defense. But you know, their attack and transition killed us. And in each of these 2 games, you know, I think that our offense and our turnovers and that run separated the game. You know, last game it was in the first quarter. Today it was in the third quarter. And, you know, they made us pay for it.
They were very physical. The refs were allowing them to hold and grab and do all those things. So I think, I mean, especially in that third quarter, I might have hit the ground 5 or 6 straight times. And I'm not the one that likes hitting the ground. So I think it got to be called differently. Not saying that's the reason why we lost. They went on a 26-0 run, and we can't have that on the road. But I can't allow it to be held and grabbed every pin down, every screen, and I don't even shoot one free throw. Like, I play the same way each and every night. So I mean, that has to change.
The frustration evident on the face and in the voice of Isaiah Thomas post-game as the Boston Celtics suffer another humbling loss here in our nation's capital. But the bright side for the Boston Celtics is game number 5 is back home at TD Garden, and also the home team has won all of the meetings between these two teams regular season and postseason. So if that trend continues in this series, it's advantage Boston. But if the trend of the Washington Wizards getting off to great starts either in the first half or second half continue, then it's advantage Washington. So stay tuned to a lot of sports talk and a lot of sportstalk.com. We will be in Boston for game number 5 Wednesday night between the Celtics and the Washington Wizards, then back here on Friday night with post-game coverage after game 6 between the Boston Celtics and Washington Wizards. So stay tuned for that, and also stay tuned for our latest Snap Judgments gallery, our photo gallery from the MLS contest at Yankee Stadium between NYCFC and Atlanta United. So once again, our final score, the Washington Wizards 121, the Boston Celtics 102 after 4 games in this Eastern Conference semifinal series. We're all square. From the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C., my name is Adesina Koiki for a lot of sportstalk.com.